As you mentioned, we're going to be starting off on Ilios, and we're going to get a first peek at what Niagara's looking to run, and it looks like we might be a little bit of a fortune teller here, Dryad. We do see the Rhine Zarya.
I hope so. I mean, we definitely have to wait for the doors to open, but it definitely, that would be a really good indication. I really like seeing the Ryan Saria coming through more than any other composition. I think that Winston Saria is a little bit harder to coordinate with your team, especially if you don't have the synergy. But, for Ryan Saria, a little bit easier. Rochester Institute of Technology, making a few last changes, and also Ryan Saria.
It's going to be interesting to see these two teams go at it. Usually you see a lot of concussive force going through with these teams. Not quite going to be the case here this time, though. A little bit of Lucio from both sides, a Junkrat. But other than that, not going to be seeing any Pharah, no Ori, no Hog. As now we look ahead, Niagara looking to make a little bit more of a direct path to point, but Rochester looking to make a direct path to Niagara. Immediately trying to throw in a lot of damage, but Breadbeard trying to keep their distance there, trying to make sure that the team doesn't get too imposed. It's going to be a Maywall coming in, buying a lot of space for Rochester, really trying to enforce their will as they so far get the first cap. Not a kill going in either direction for these teams. The Reaper really trying to push up, and with Aristelia finally getting taken down, this is really going to open the floodgates for Rochester. A nice Wraithborn coming out from Choco Man allows them to close these kills.
Yeah, right after you have that rotation going for RIT, then you have the momentum to get the kills. That's exactly what they did. They're going to pass at 20%. First fight going really well for them, a few more kills. So that means that Niagara University, they're going to be a little bit more delayed before the next push. And they did like the composition that we saw, that Junkrat is going to put a lot of pressure into Reinhardt's shield, exactly what you want to do. But the big question mark is, how do they want to engage here?
It's going to be difficult, especially since you have to navigate that pseudo-third shield in the Maywall coming in from Essel. But it looks like Niagara are going to be trying to take this side hallway, maybe find some extra damage. But that Maywall, again, coming in can be so difficult to just cope with. Immortality Field trying to come through, but it's answered by a grab, and the swings are big from RIT.
A lot of damage coming through. RIT once again staying in control of the situation. This is a really good team, and they're showing it to us again. The Reinhardt is about to have the Shatter. The Blizzard is also going to be ready, and that's going to be enough for RIT to have their momentum going. Niagara University, they try to have a different engagement, but it didn't work out.
It did not quite work out, but they're going to bring another one up to the board here, Drive. We'll see exactly how they try to operate here. Both Reinhardts have those Earth Shatters online. We'll see if one can perhaps outsmart the other, outwit the other. It's going to be the Maywall already getting set up from Essel, but a little bit of a scattered positioning coming in from Niagara. Going to make it a little bit harder to section them off, but already not even the Maywall needed. Blue Jay coming in big with those right clicks.
Blue Jay once again staying in control. Not the first time that we see the Zarya popping off. Rochester once again is going to pass a 95, and can anyone from Niagara touch?
It's going to be a lot harder with that Blizzard coming out. Essel just making clear the main way. Nobody even able to get near. Sound barrier dropped in celebration as RIT take first point.
Niagara University, they had a few ultimates to work with, but they just couldn't use them in time. It seems like it was only 3 fights that we saw there, but Rochester, they just shut them down immediately. Now, Niagara University, they either have to make a few changes or they have to have that faster engagement. That's exactly what I see from them. And, well, they do have a good indication of having that faster engagement when we see that Symmetra, the teleporter, to bring the team to the point a little bit faster. They know that's definitely their win condition, especially when they have that Junkrat, who's going to put a lot of damage from point.
And you're definitely going to be looking for those pills to just rain in as well. That Sim Teleporter going to be able to bounce you past that Maywall if you get it set up quick enough. So Essel going to be having a little bit harder of a time if Aristelia is able to get it set up. However, we do look for these teams to be rushing right out of the point. And Niagara now, once again, looking to set up onto point. Might be a little bit aggressive, a little bit preemptive of them given the performance on well, but we look ahead and Niagara already looking to try to contest here on the high ground. We see Bread just focusing those kills, getting the Lucio trap. I do believe it is going to be the Lucio. Essel manages to get the first kill though. Aristelia has the turret set up, has the damage amping up, and just not quite able to deliver. And with this, RIT already looking like they're getting quite a few kills on their belts.
Yeah, the kill from Junkrat is definitely not going to be enough, and with that, Niagara University falls. Rochester Institute of Technology, they're the ones that are going to take control of the point right at the beginning, and that Shattered, the Blizzard. The Blizzard's about to be ready, the Shatter's ready. Niagara University doesn't have anything, they got taken down way too fast.
And not the opportunity to build up any ultimates there. And we already see now Rochester going right up into the air. The hammer down coming in doesn't quite land. Link gonna be dropped. Zarya personal bubble saving the rest of the team, but doesn't matter. RIT still going to be barreling ahead, putting down the damage. Niagara does manage to get 2 and get some point progress.
And they will be getting some progress, but very risky situation knowing that RIT is about to engage again. They seem like they want to go back, they want to wait for the team, but not really getting much now.
Oh, but they do have that proton barrier coming online. Niagara going to be able to sustain themselves for a bit. They did have to commit those ultimates a little bit late, though.
Rochester, it seems like they thought they could get the engagement, but it was a little bit too late. It was better for the team to regroup rather than waste their time knowing that Niagara already had that percentage going on for them. Niagara is going to have that tire to use to initiate this fight ideally along with the Shadow, and that should be enough to keep them on.
Money says Essel also throws in this Blizzard. Actually not needed as the kill's coming through because of that amplification matrix. Bread trying to throw in a Savior tire only finds the Baptiste, and not much else doing.
Oh. The Reinhardt can't really reach the turret, but here it is. The team to support him, and Rochester University able to take control of the point again. They're going to also pass a percentage of Niagara University, looking really good for next fight. Initiating with the Blizzard, initiating with the Death Blossom, that should be enough for them to take control of the point. They're really good at playing aggressive.
Yeah, Niagara does not have a lot in the bank, save that sound barrier, and Bread taking quite a bit of damage. Not everybody able to get through that teleporter means they're going to be a little bit split, a little bit discombobulated. Sound barrier coming out from Niagara. They want to try to invest everything. They need to be careful of Death Blossom. The Blizzard, however, an imminent threat as now members are just getting cleaned up.
Yeah, there you go. More and more control from Rochester, and they didn't even have to use every single ultimate. Only the Blizzard was enough. Now, they have the Death Blossom to work with in Niagara University. Maybe trying to run that far. It's definitely a good idea knowing that there aren't really any hit skins that are going to be able to get that far from the distance, but risky knowing that there's already past that 80% for Rochester.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to make Aristalia get that benefit here, especially if ZP Link keeping their head on a swivel, taking down the Mercy early on. No supports now for Niagara. This is a great spot for RIT. They look to continue their momentum, keep it ahead. The sound barrier once again at the end. This is looking great for them.
No one else, not even overtime, is going to come through, and RIT already taking that first map in a really convincing manner.
Yeah, definitely looking very strong there. We're going to be seeing a little bit of the play of the game from the big Reinhardt themselves. Probably not that Earth Shatter we saw sink right into that Zarya bubble. Instead, it's going to be the charge, then a return Shatter coming in, comboing with the Blizzard as well. Poor Lucio, put in the corner.
And really good control from the Reinhardt, and I love seeing Reinhardt back. It seems like in competitive or in any other tournaments besides EGF, we can't really see the Reinhardt being able to come through, but here we're able to see the Reinhardt, the Zarya, the Lucio, more of that brawl composition that benefits teams so much, because it's just the perfect balance between, you know, the minimum synergy that you need with your team and the aggressive, between and like how aggressive you want to play with them. So it works perfectly now for Rochester, but now it can also work for Niagara for next month.
It's certainly going to have to be a little bit of a change up from Niagara. Rochester definitely seemed to be a little bit more aggressive in this game mode where you kind of get rewarded for that attitude. Very curious to see if Niagara can adapt, see what they kind of have up their sleeves, because as we look towards our next maps, the assaults, the hybrids, the escorts, that dynamic's going to be changing a little bit from what we just saw in the control points.
Yeah, and we always mention it, the control being a very unique type of map that doesn't really indicate how the rest of the match is going to go, how the rest of the maps are going to go. Especially when we go into Iconwall, a hybrid map where, you know, being and having a strong defense is the most important thing you can have. If you're able to full hold the enemy team, that's already enough confidence to go into the next round and to attack. Only take one tick and win, but definitely more complicated than it sounds. There's a lot to take into account. And if these two teams decide to keep playing the composition with the Ryan Zarya, then well, this is a really good start for them on the defense.
I certainly agree. And you're talking about, those defensives being very important to just set up and kind of establish yourself with. That's something that we saw Niagara do on both of the last control maps very well. They started off knowing what their plan was. It was go to point. Now,
Yeah.
when it came to their opponents, RIT was able to outmaneuver them a little bit. But if Niagara's able to fix that up, maybe tighten that response time a little bit, they're suddenly going to start looking much better against RIT.
Yeah, and I actually did like seeing Niagara's initiation. They had the right idea on the composition and the way that they wanted to touch point and stay on point. But unfortunately for them, it was Rochester the ones being able to stay and to play a little bit faster, and that made the whole difference. With Niagara, they have the right idea, now they just have to make sure that they're able to pull throughout these maps. And for them, I mean, this is a really good start. They're going to start as a defense.
Yeah, Niagara will be on that defense. We'll see if they can continue that adaptation here. We do see the combo of the Rein Zarya peeking its head once again.
Yeah, the Rhines are coming through. The May I also like seeing. I think it's really good. Also working a lot with your team to try to separate the tanks, to take them down before the wall gets taken down. So I do like this idea. I remember we saw a lot of Breadwear being able to pop off on when we saw it on the fall term. So I definitely expect that to happen again. Now they just have to figure Rochester before.
Like a nice picture, it's all about framing this time around. Can Aristalia get those turrets set up and get some huge advantage? And immediately Sheridan going to be taking down their counterpart in Link, but at the cost of their own life. And suddenly now Niagara's in a little bit of a weak spot. They're letting the reinforcements of Rochester come through the main choke. Aristalia gets taken down, nobody there to help them out. Niagara now in a very grim spot. They have to back up and try to hope that the Reinhardt can get back, but it does not look like that's going to be the case here today, Triad.
Yeah, it was the right idea, but they just couldn't pull through. Unfortunately, in Rochester University, that's going to be enough for them to start moving that payload. Niagara, they had the May wall to try to separate the Reinhardt. They got the kill, but it just wasn't enough, and they couldn't have that rotation just in time. They do have the Shatter now, though.
We'll be seeing if Niagara can utilize this Shatter. They are the ones who can get a bit more aggressive with their ults here. We see Aristalia, though, already popping up, trying to peek some of that damage into the Zarya. I like seeing this look of the Pharah. The Reaper and May not necessarily going to be able to counteract, as well the Mercy. A little bit of a damage boost we see now. No kills really coming through yet, but Aristalia really making it aggressive to just try to cut this angle for Rochester. And now the May wall comes out. Sheridan gets taken down. The tank line now taken down for Niagara. It's going to be a little bit grim. They need to start claiming back some kills, but with Red going down, that's a big ask, and the rest of the team starts to fall.
Yeah, and I was going to say the next step is going to be taking this high ground and Nakin wall second. That's exactly what Rochester is going to be doing. They're creating the space, they pass the bridge, and now Niagara, they only have one more fight if they want to defend second. This is not going to be easy. They have the Shatter, but is it going to be enough?
And Niagara has to invest that May wall just to get out of the spawn. Now the Blizzard comes in, blocking everybody off. Choco Man has the Death Blossom, not even going to be trying to invest it this time around. Instead, just pumping Hellfire shotguns.
That momentum going for Rochester seems like they are unstoppable right now. They use that Blizzard. They did use that Amplification Matrix, but they have everything else. They can initiate with the Graviton Surge, with the Death Blossom. Niagara, they have to be very smart about the ultimate economy now because they have 5 minutes 40 to defend.
But they do have the Rocket Barrage. Playing these tight corners can open things up with the Rocket Barrage, especially with this Blizzard trying to zone people out, keep them locked down. Now the Rocket Barrage comes in, but everybody's a little bit too far away. Now the Death Blossom from Choco Man coming in clutch after not having used it last fight. Gonna get 3.
And I was just saying, Niagara, they had to be smart about the ultimate economy. They wasted that barrage, they also wasted that Blizzard, and now the payload is going to keep moving for Rochester University. Chocoman did so well.
A little bit of an early Earth Shatter there from a Link. Doesn't really catch anybody, but perhaps just to threaten off Niagara. We're going to be seeing a lot more of a brawl coming through. The pin from Link, dropping the shield just to get the kill onto the Reinhardt. Drops anyway, as we see the swings coming in big. The cart continues to move. Nobody remains standing for Niagara.
Doesn't feel like there's anything else Niagara can do now. Rochester, too powerful here. The ultimate economy was always benefiting them. They were even about to rotate those ultimates again. A lot of time remaining for them now. Niagara, I really want to see what they do in the attack.
And a little bit of a side note here, Dryad. I think we've seen the Lucios pop their sound barrier. Specifically, I think it's ZP Link dropped the sound barrier at the end of every match we've seen so far.
Yeah. The sound barrier as well, I think it's... On this composition especially, you have to be very smart about when you use it. If you use it too early, even if you want to keep your team alive, then you're not going to have it for maybe the Graviton Surge that can take down your team. So I'm always very, very careful of when they're going to use, if it's going to be before, if it's going to be after. They're kind of free to figure it out themselves. I think for the Blizzard especially, it can benefit them. but there are so many possibilities, and it all just matters on the positioning on your team and how much value you can get out of it.
Well, hopefully a lot of value looking ahead, but as we see now, the Wrecking Ball coming through. That might be a little difficult given that the Mei was being predicted, but no, it looks like in fact it will be the Zarya instead.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can expect that Ryan Zarya to keep being so dominant, especially between these two teams. And now Niagara does have the Junkrat, so I do like this. A lot of the damage coming through, breaking the shields, exactly what I want to see from them. But Rochester, they've been so dominant that it's not going to be easy.
It certainly will not. This team not really had to change up their plan too much. We've just been seeing the Reaper, the Mei so far. An immediate teleport to point. Niagara going to be setting up those turrets, making sure that anybody who walks in going to be slowed, going to be paralyzed for just a little bit. It's going to be Link FD taking quite a bit of damage, but backs up, able to receive a lot of healing. But Red looking to put in a lot of damage, but caught right into the waiting arms of Choco Man. Now things are looking very good for RIT, despite not necessarily having control at the start of this fight.
Yeah, RT, they're going to take everyone from Niagara down, and just like that, they're going to be holding that defense now. The only thing that they need is trying to build those ultimates for the next fight. Niagara University, I don't know if they want to make any changes now. Moira, I do like seeing this change. More healing that will be coming through, and more of that mobility that's so important for them, especially when they're going to use that teleport.
We will see exactly how this Moira is going to play into the composition here, as now we can already see Rochester kind of pre-firing into this doorway, making sure that Niagara's not going to get through for free, at least not with all their shields intact. And Aristelia going to be throwing in those turrets early on, just trying to cause the enemy team to turn around, but it's not going to work as now members are getting picked apart for the side of Niagara. They're trying to get away, but they're going to get a couple losses on the back end.
Yeah, Rochester is going to be rolling, going to their spawn. They have the confidence, and then Lucy trying to run away. Can he?
Oh, run hazard. No, not quite able to get out.
Gets taken down, and with that, Rochester will be backing up. They knew they were playing a little bit too aggressive. Now they will be going back to that choke point. And in the meantime, Niagara making a few changes again. The Pharah coming through, the pharmacy, in fact, will be pretty interesting to see, especially because Rochester has nothing to counter it. So I do like this change.
Yeah, in theory, this is a very good look for Niagara, but we have not seen it work so far. We'll see if Aristelia can start to land some of these shots. Already brought dangerously low. Has to back off, play a little bit tighter on those corners. Link FD throws in the Earth Shatter. It's a Ryan for Ryan trade so far, but that does not stay that way for long as Rochester continues to get the kills, and now it's just the Flying Mercy and a little bit of a Moira.
Ultimate economy once again benefiting Rochester, and it seems like from Niagara trying to touch point, but this Baptiste is just killing everyone.
You don't need long-range hit scan when you got a Baptiste like that.
I really like seeing this Baptiste being able to pop off. Definitely one of my favorite supports because of this, and with that, Rochester is going to have the amplification matrix to use, and I don't think they even need to use anything else. The rest is going to be just for them to be confident that they're able to get the kills. They can use the Blizzard to create the speed that they need, along with the Death Blossom, maybe trying to get another kill.
Well, you said all they'll need is the amplification, but they're going to be investing the Blizzard, maybe waiting to save that amplification for the later pushes. As now, RIT looking to just barrel ahead, get a couple of kills. Ice picking away is Essel. A late Coalescence coming in, that's a little suspect.
Ooh, and it's not going to go well with that Coalescence. It seems like the time was completely off for Niagara University to use this ultimate. They still have a couple, but losing your Coalescence to initiate next fight is going to be not very beneficial when there's only 35 seconds remaining. Rochester, they still have the Graviton if they want to delay this push.
It's certainly going to be a lot of things to cause Niagara a little bit of pause here. Red does have this tire up, but can they land anything? A nice Earth Shatter comes through, but Rochester not too phased by it as the Immortality Field goes down, responding to the tire. It looks like Niagara on their last death throws here. Not really able to pull too many ults from their opponents either.
Yeah, a couple kills coming through for Niagara University, but doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Rochester, a few of them where Lodge are coming back from spawn, but can they even touch Niagara? Once again, not even in overtime, and RIT takes the second map.
Yeah, RIT still looking very strong, very dominant there. They have not let the Jets cool since we last saw them. Niagara, on the other hand, still looking like they have a little bit of shaping up to do. It is very early in the season. However, Taco Man we see creeping around in the back during this play of the game, dropping it right onto the Death Blossom, getting the 3.
This is only one of the many highlights that we saw from Rochester. Every single ultimate seemed to be effective. Even if they didn't get the kills, it was enough to create the space for them when they were attacking and when they were defending. They already at match point. It seems like it's going so fast. They have
Yes,
the shatter, but is it
it's
going to be
been
enough?
just a
And
few
Niagara has
moments,
to invest
Dryad,
in
but
that May
already
wall
we have a
just to
best
get
ofs
out
collection
of
here.
this spawn.
Chaco,
Now,
man,
the
already
Blizzard
just
comes
robbing
in,
from that
blocking
high ground.
everybody
A
up.
nice
Chaco
death boss, and
has
you
the
love to
death
see it
blossom.
every
Not even
time.
going to be trying to invest it this time
Yeah,
around.
it's just a
Instead, just
classic at this
pumping
point,
Hellfire
and
shots
just
on.
having that momentum with the Reaper,
Passed it back off, play a little bit
it's
tighter on
going to
those
be
corners.
really good
Big
for any
FD
team. We
throws
don't
in
see
the
Reaper even that often because Brawl is not that popular of a composition anymore. And even if when we do see it, it's not always with Reaper. So nice to see this hero coming back. Now, I just want to see Niagara University. They have some time to talk. They have time to make a few adjustments here and there, but they can bring it back.
Now we'll see if they'll be able to bring it back as we go towards this break. So stick around, folks, because I know you're not going to want to miss it. And just like that, folks, we are back at a 2-0 game score as well. RIT been cutting a path through Niagara so far.
Yeah, already 2-0, and it seems like it's just happening so fast. Rochester, they're just taking control of every single fight that we've seen. Niagara definitely struggling a little bit, but now they had a little bit of a break here to talk to their coaches, to talk to themselves about what they can do differently for the next map.
Yeah, and I mean, RIT definitely looking very strong, but as we head into Temple of Anubis, there are again some things we can definitely highlight about Niagara. They have these decisions, they have these plans that they're making, and they're committing to them, but it just seems like the adaptation from RIT a little bit strong. So maybe we'll see those plans come through. Maybe Niagara will get a little bit more of that flexibility into Anubis. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, Temple of Venuvius. This is another classic for running your own composition and also good indication because Niagara they kept forcing the Junkrat, and if there's a good map for Junkrat, it's gotta be Temple of Venuvius. You can bring in the defense, you can put a little pressure, and completely deny the push from the attack. In this case, for Rochester, so that's something I want to see. If they want to play to the strengths, if they want to play another composition, then this is a time where you just have to do it, Niagara.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hoping that Niagara could pull something out. I'd like to see, maybe 4, maybe 5 games if I'm being sincere here, Dryad. But
Yeah.
again, you mentioned it, the Junkrat. I gotta think it's gonna come out here.
Yeah, I actually do want to see it from Niagara. Rochester, they feel comfortable running other sort of DPS, but I mean, for Niagara at least, especially when you're going to start on a defense, yeah, there you go. You bring the Junkrat,
Yep.
potentially the Pharah, a lot of damage that will be coming through from them, and also creating the space between them and the Brawl style from Rochester that is so dominant. If you're able to create that space between you and the Reaper, you and the Mei, that's exactly what you need to do to win. Like definitely taking the right making the right changes into trying to make the comeback that they need.
We'll see if it serves them well. This time we're going to be starting off on the Pharah Mercy, something we haven't seen them start with, and it's usually a mid-match swap, so hopefully it finds them a little bit of benefit. Not going to see them peppering the spawn doors too immediately, though. Essel going to be jumping onto the Junkrat, and Choco Man immediately looking to beat them in the air with that Echo. Already Aristalia able to get a lot of damage into those small confined rooms, looking to just try in what they can. Now Niagara in a very good position to just keep poking damage, and they don't have super heavy healing, does Rochester, just the Ana, and the trap triggered by the Zarya. An open opportunity there that Niagara definitely going to cash in on, but Sheridan, in the meantime, kind of gets caught in the mix, hit by an anti-nade, not able to be healed. The dive coming through, and now RIT have a moment to regroup themselves and continue to force Niagara away.
But Niagara taking the advantage here, taking the first fight, and that's exactly what they were trying to do, getting those kills with the Junkrat, with the Pharah putting enough pressure.
Oh, no.
Now Rochester, they want their revenge, and now they're going to the Widowmaker.
Yeah, Essel going to be looking to pull some heads here. It's going to have to be the entirety of Niagara being very careful of these angles, and being very careful of the Lucios. Apparently, Actual going to be getting a couple of kills. It's going to cost the Mercy for that res, and now RIT able to really get in full swing here. See Choco Man just raining from on high, not even having to use the flight, just standing on a little bit of a balcony. You like seeing it, you like kicking your feet up, and now the damage coming through.
Yeah, good changes from Rochester. They realized that Niagara's composition was a little bit too strong compared to what they were playing, and so they decided to go Echo. They decided to go Widowmaker, and that made the difference. A lot of time remaining. The potential for a snowball as well, that Primal Rage is about to be ready. The Rochester wants to initiate with it, and taking advantage of Niagara, they're still trying to position themselves.
Niagara very close to a couple of ultimates, but they need to get them quickly before this next fight really gets too underway. It's going to be the nano boost on to the Winston as well. The duplicate from Choco Man getting a kill with the pin. It's going to be the rocket barrage coming from on high, but that makes Essel an easy shot. And now as we see RIT going to be immediately flooding onto point. They weren't quite able to utilize the ults quick enough, was Niagara. And that was going to be Link just trying to swat away that Mercy with a primal.
Oh, the snowball, it seems like it's about to happen. First they go to Rochester. Also, we hear the tire, but can he get any kills?
Oh, it's going to get two. That's a huge opportunity for some turnaround thanks to Bread. Right now, Aristalia trying to get onto point, but the Winston just too overpowering in this situation, Dryad.
Yeah, the Junkrat trying to come back, gets taken down, but the respawn advantage should still be going for Niagara if they are able to touch it. Esco just not letting them get out of spawn.
And there's nobody to deal with this Widowmaker. She's just on high ground. She's killing DC224. You can't let them get that high ground for free. Your Moira's going to suffer for it. Everybody's going to suffer, and your points are going to drop. Now we're seeing the Lucio get cleaned up. Just a little bit of contest coming in from the Reaper, but that's not going to be enough.
Not even the spawn advantage was enough for Niagara to hold the defense. Really good positioning from this Widowmaker on the side of Rochester, and now they have a lot of time remaining in case we go to a third round here in Temple of Anubis. Niagara, in the meantime, now they attack, and now is when they question exactly what they want to do. Taking advantage of Niagara.
Yeah, and as we see a quick little replay here to this opening for this, what is basically final fight here. That's a quick couple of kills coming through that just really enable this. The duplicate coming through, Choco Man able to get the damage in, not quite able to build up that Earth Shatter thanks to the Rocket Barrage, but still buys their team a lot of time and a lot of space.
Yeah, a lot of space, and when you're playing those snipers, when you're playing those heroes like Widowmaker, what you're trying to do for your team is create that opening for them to push in, and that's exactly what Essel did. Really good job from the side of Rochester, also committing to that aggression until the end. And Niagara now, they have some time to really figure out exactly what they want to do if they want to run the same composition. But Rochester, about the same, as well now, no longer the Widowmaker, but very similar now with the Handsome.
Interestingly enough, we're not going to be seeing the defensive Junkrat come through from RIT. Instead, a little bit more of that aerial domination or the opportunity to dominate onto those aerial units. We'll see exactly what they provide here as the gates do open up. Now, we see that Niagara going to be running out with the Zarya, with the Reinhardt. A good opportunity here, Dryad.
Yeah, now I want to see exactly what they want to go. If they want to take the high ground, that's still going to be risky. But with the teleport, they just want to get straight into point.
And straight on the point they get, but they get answered almost as quickly. Now it's going to be the Reinhardt trying to swing, but already Niagara suffering.
Ursula now has to switch from those heroes that teleported. That's not going to be beneficial. That's Symmetra. This is something that Rochester is going to be expecting into the next push. And that was already a very quick response, even without knowing that they were playing this hero.
On the fortunate side, Niagara didn't give over a lot of that ultimate charge to Rochester. They did with that Fire Strike. Link able to build up quite a bit towards that Reinhardt benefit here. But Niagara now looking to really push up onto Link, put some pressure onto that shield, and Link getting some real damage there, but the Immortality Field able to save them, and they're able to buy their own time, they're buy their own space. A nice Maywall coming in, distracting or cutting off everybody from RIT, who was on the opposite side of that field. Choco Man getting bullied into this corner, just trying to receive any of the healing, but the Sim just not able to land the shots. Choco Man getting way too much value in that corner, way more than they should have. Now Niagara going to be going in a very scrimmy battle here. It's only a few remaining members for both sides.
Yeah, the Dragon's gonna kill, and with that, Esso's going to have that momentum to get a couple more. Everyone from Niagara gets taken down. They do get one tick though, so this is a really good start for the next push. They just need those ultimates that Rochester already has if they want to have the winning condition there. It has to be the Graviton Surge. It has to be the Amplification Matrix, pushing everyone from Rochester all the way back and creating the speed that they need.
Now my question as we look towards this next fight is how Choco Man is going to be using this Deadeye. Will they be? We saw them trying to rotate onto that high ground, so they might be trying to get some very dominant angles utilizing that ultimate. They see now Niagara immediately going into that side room, but going to be cut off by a dragon. That's going to put a lot of the hurt on a lot of people. 2 members taken down with the tank on. That's probably going to limit the push.
Yeah, those dragons creating the space necessary, and that's going to be enough for Rochester to keep control of the point. There's still over a minute remaining, over a minute 30 remaining for Niagara, but the time is still running out. They have to get that initiation. If they want to go right side, if they want to go into the high ground, they have to do it now.
We see Essel trying to rain in some damage with those storm arrows. Not able to get any kills, but still just slowly building up their way to dragons. They're halfway there, and we saw the damage those dragons can wreak inside that small confined room. So they're going to now be taken to the above ground, trying to get some shots in. Decides to just back off for the time being. Drops themselves right into the middle of the team, actually. Decides to back up. A little bit risky here, but neither team really giving a whole lot of space to the other. It's going to be Niagara leading in with a grab, and now they're going to be trying to run in, but the sound barrier keeps everybody alive, but the Reinhardt from the Deadeye. It's going to be Aristelia who manages to get the kill onto the McCree, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, the soldier trying to do something about it, but it's not going to be enough, like you said. And now, even if they try to contest like, the point for this time of Niagara, is going to be too late. They definitely need to regroup here. They only have 35 seconds remaining, and time is running out for the team of Rochester. Now they have the Shatter. They have the Diva Bomb as well if they want to throw it into point, completely denying the space from Niagara. But it's not going to be as easy.
It certainly will not. Oh, and that's going to make it so much harder. Bread going down means that now that Junkrat not going to be able to deal tons of damage to the Reinhardt shield, and you're going to need that as Link just pushes up on your team. The cleanup coming through after the Earth Shatter, not even necessary for the charge. It's going to be all cleaned up by the DPS anyway. Essel and Choco Man got it. Take a little bit of a break.
And just a Diva Bomb at the end to really guarantee the win, not only of the map, but of the entire match. Rochester gets a 3-0, very clean 3-0, and an amazing job that you did today.
Yeah, Rochester looking like the stronger team here between these two, for sure. Again, I like bringing out the positives here. Niagara definitely had some things that they kind of excelled in, or some things that they looked confident in. Just couldn't quite bring them up to performance that they needed for the win over their opponents.
And it was almost, Rochester came to this match being the favorites, and they are showing us why they were the favorites. They're so dominant. They won almost every single fight first. They had the first engagements. They were able to get those ultimates first. The ultimate economy was always benefiting them. Niagara, they were struggling to keep up with the really fast pace of Rochester, and that is why they just weren't really able to catch up. But I do see some really good improvements from what we saw before from the Sierra Niagara. They were having the right idea at the beginning, like we talked about. It was just a little bit of the struggling of in between the fights, what you do.
Well, maybe we can get a little bit of a on the field perspective when we have one of the members from RIT come in for an interview, which we will have on the other side of this break, folks. So stick around. Hello and welcome back, everybody. From our brief, very short break, me and Dryad are back, but we've managed to wrangle with us a guest here today from RIT, the exotic lands. We have Essel coming in to answer a few questions. Essel, congratulations on your win, first of all.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting the stream for us.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. Now, I want to start off with, I like taking these opportunities to ask teams if there was anything they learned from the opponents they just faced, right? Because Niagara, you guys ran through them pretty well. Do you think there's anything you take home to kind of improve on from this?
Uh, I'd say not to get too cocky because I mean, if we get too cocky, we can fall the team. Just we almost lost some points to Thumb by just us overextending too much, and just like we need to learn to keep our cool and always keep it going forward.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, but you guys have been dominant the entire time you've been here, and this is something that we didn't see from that many teams. They usually struggle, and they're most of them are in that mid table, but you guys have been dominant over and over again. So just tell me a little bit about your team. How is that? Is it the synergy? Is that you guys being really, really good at the heroes that you play? What is that makes your team so good?
When we first got together, we didn't have that much synergy together, and then we didn't play brawl like we usually do, and then we just started running brawl, and we all kind of understood the core concepts of it, and we all understood that we had to stick together in our win conditions against enemy teams with what they are running. And I think everyone just understands how to play that comp really well, that we can run it into anything else and still win.
Yeah, definitely. And is there any team that you feel concerned about? I mean, like we were talking about, you guys have been so good, but now is there any team that you think is going to be a closer matchup? I think for Niagara, they've been struggling a little bit more. So I think is there any team that you would have that extra preparation for?
We're looking for Marist here. They're the ones that were undefeated until earlier today, and they're the match that we're looking forward to the most, I'd say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, Essel, I think we are about ready to wrap up our interview segment. But before we let you go, I always like to give our guests the opportunity to give any shout outs. Anybody you think might have deserved a little bit of spotlight today?
Uh, Just everyone on my team. We all played well. All played to our best parts there. I think we did well and gave a good show.
Well, I certainly know I was entertained, but once again, Essel, thank you for coming in, answering a few of our questions. We enjoyed both watching your team, and talking with you in general. But congratulations on your win today.
Thank you.
And with that, Dryad, we are about ready to take another break before we head into our next game here. Looking very forward to it, yeah?
Yeah, we just have to wait. It doesn't seem like it's even going to be a 3-0 like this. So I mean, we have to wait. It can be 5 maps, 6 maps. We'll see.
We've certainly seen it happen before, so I'm not counting anything out here, folks. But you shouldn't either, and the only way you're going to find out is if you stay tuned until the other end of this break. We will be back in just a little bit, so stick around.